happen.
You're right.
Save it.
What's up, everyone? We're here with my good buddy Brian.
How's it going, everybody?
You know him from Off-Grid Backcountry Adventures. We finally got a look firsthand at this tent with the wood stove. So I'm stoked, man. It's cool to see you out here in the snow. We pulled up. It was like nobody's camping out here except Brian. Oh, she's loving it. Come on, Tiara. Come on, Tiara. She's all excited.
Oh boy, come on in here. Let's come in for the tent tour. Come on.
You've been running this for years, huh?
6 years now.
Dude, it's so
full-time.
cool.
I just love the snow conditions, and just too like the winter experience a bit. Like the solitude's great. I like working with the wood stove. I've always had fun with that, and so it's just the whole experience in and of itself is just awesome. It can handle a 5-foot snow load. Winds up to 90 miles an hour sustained. It's pretty much bulletproof, so I love it. You know, it's amazing once you get good gear and you get a good stove. The conditions you can ride out in comfort, you know, it's possible. Yeah, welcome to my 4-season tent. A lot of people ask what tent this is, and it's a Bighorn 3 from Cabela's, but unfortunately they don't sell it anymore. So if you can find them, there's still some in stock in like local stores, so you can call ahead and ask. But if you're trying to order it online, it's not available. So that's the biggest question I get asked, like, what tent is that?
Yeah.
Sorry, no longer available. So it's kind of a collector's item.
Oh, it's niche. It's niche. He'll let you know when it goes up for auction.
Yeah.
No, that won't happen. You've been running this for years, huh?
6 years now.
Dude, it's so cool.
The only time I didn't run this was in that winter when I had that off-grid cabin, and I was only there for 3 months, but I was still in this for 2.5 months. The gear is so good that you're not uncomfortable. I had a night where the wind chill was -37 or -35, and the actual temperature was -27, but it was still 60 inside my tent. As long as you have a stove and a good tent, you can get through a lot. So the tent's actually in 2 parts. This is the vestibule, and this vestibule fits other Cabela's tents that they had. So like you'll see this on other outfitter tents. But what I like about this is you'll notice there's not a floor in here. Now what I'll do is I'll put down a little bit of a tarp for like a walking area so I can walk out here with just my socks on. But the thing about not having a floor that's nice is that if it snows like crazy out, you have an area to change out your clothes and your snowy boots and everything that isn't inside your tent. Because you'd be surprised at how much stuff gets tracked into this tent, and you think you're doing a good job of like keeping it clean, and it gets trashed in a moment's notice, especially with having a dog. And so having this to have an area where I can come in, take off all that stuff, the water when it melts just goes in the ground, doesn't get my tent dirty, and then I can come in here to the main portion of the tent and have like all my good living space. So out here I'll still store my wood. Even in the dead of winter, you'll still find insects and stuff burrowed into that wood. And some of them might be alive, so you'll have spiders and things like that. If you take all your wood and put it in your tent, it poses 2 problems. 1, those insects can get out, and 2, if an ember gets out of that and catches fire to all that wood inside your tent, your whole tent's going to go up in flames and you'll be done. So you don't want either of that to happen. So that's why I'll store the wood out here. You notice I have my axe, and then it's easy just to, even when like it's snowing like crazy, you can have this thing all buttoned up. You can be chopping wood in here, no problem. So it's kind of like a workroom as well. So I call it like kind of like my mud room / workroom. If you have a motorcycle, I know people that pull motorcycles in here if they do like
on like an adventure bike trip. That'd be so cool.
So they'll do that for like single track trails and stuff like that, and also too with mountain bikes. And it's easy to park that in here. I mean, you stand up fully, no problem.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's one thing that's nice about this. And what people will do is if they want to do it to where they have a motorbike and they don't want that smell to come in their tent, they'll attach it to the other side, because all this does is attach to the A-frame tent frame here. Mm-hmm. So you can attach this to the other side of the tent and have a garage that doesn't have any seepage of the odors into your main living tent. I've even seen it where people will do one vestibule on this side and another one on that side. And that's kind of what I want to do when I get a ranch, is set this up and then have setups like that to where we do adventure stuff with like bikes and different things. Because it's awesome having our rigs the way that they are, but they can only take us so far. Mm-hmm. And
and only be so comfy. I mean, dude, this is so warm in here. Yeah. Even you've had the door open.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes now since we've been here.
And I've got the stove almost all the way turned off. Look on the front here. So if you look on the front where the airflow is, I've got that. That's less than half. So, and then same with back here. If I turn this all the way up and then you look inside, there's going to be what it is. I've only got one log. Let me put more logs in there. Pretty quick.
This is so cool, Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it in the videos, but I'm here.
But that's why I love doing
Wow,
this so
dude.
much, because it's like it's so cozy in here, and you know you're sitting here, you're making food.
I get
like,
it.
Like I like this morning I made bagel sandwiches here, like bacon bagel sandwiches, and you know I'll get people that get on my channel they're like, oh, you're glamping. I'm like, I never said I wasn't. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
out
not.
here. I want to be comfortable. I'm 40. I'll be 46 in 2 months. You know, I want to be comfortable doing this, but this still is right on the edge of like I think. I'm out here by myself, like no one else is out here. And I think people look at the fridge and stuff like that, and they wonder stuff. And you know, another thing I get too, a lot of people say like, how come you don't store your food in the snow? And I understand the logic behind that because the snow is cold, but like field mice run all over the snow, and in the morning time you'll see it. You'll wake up, and if there's no wind, you'll see the foot tracks of the snow all over. And what they do is they're looking for food. And so if your food's sitting out, even if it's frozen, they get into it.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before. I've laid my food out there. I'm like, I'll never do it again because you just spoil all your groceries.
Yeah.
So that's not an option. Like, you wouldn't do it at your house.
Yeah.
You know, in the city, you wouldn't say like, oh, it's snowing outside. I'm just going to take my groceries and put them out in the yard.
Yeah, I'll save on my electric bill now.
Yeah, and so you wouldn't do it here either. I mean, it's just that I understand the concept in theory, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. You can tell Brian's been doing this a while and had a few comments on and thought it through like a little bit.
Yeah, and, you know, and there's stuff. I mean, I've learned stuff the hard way. You know, safety out here. I wasn't very mindful that first winter camping. That I got 3rd-degree burns down my leg.
Yeah, that was a gnarly story and video, and yeah,
that was crazy. And so, you know, working with the wood stove has really taught me a lot. I've got tons of scars. If you see right here, all these lines, all this right here, this is from having the stove glove on. You see it ends right here, but I have this open and I'm in here reaching in, grabbing stuff, and I'm accidentally hitting the side of the stove, so it's burning me.
Ow.
So that's like branding me and stuff all down my arm here. So like, I'll see somebody else with this and I'll ask them immediately, I'm like, you work with the wood stove? They're like, yep.
No way.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
And it's cool because like immediately I'll be like, that person works with that wood stove a lot.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not just like they do it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, dude. I'll look for that now.
Yeah.
And I see you're using the LifeSaver Jerry Can, just like I've been using for a while now.
Dude, these things are so good. I ordered another one too, so I got that. It just showed up at my buddy's place, but I love those things, man.
Yeah, it's been
so
working
nice.
good for you.
Yeah, it's been working great, and the flow's getting better now because I keep getting more water through it. So the flow's. I think our storm.
Is it coming? Oh, we got
a little bit of wind.
We got a little bit of snow coming, but not much.
Yeah, it's coming from the treetops.
Oh, yeah.
But
He knows. I'll trust you.
One thing I've noticed out here is I really like the ground in Arizona. The way the ground performs, it's much different than Colorado. Colorado just freezes like a rock. And so the cold coming up is just horrible. You fight that all winter. Yeah, like my first night here, I used 4 pieces of juniper, whereas an average night in Colorado, I use 12 to 15.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, like in Colorado, you'll notice
more.
all the wood that I have stacked out here is like literally up to here.
Yeah.
All the way out to here.
Yeah.
And that'll be for a week.
Yeah.
And this will last me probably another 3 days.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's just a difference in the evening time and the way it performs. So I like it out here.
Wow.
The condensation's a little bit more. I notice there's a little bit more humidity, but I'm good with it. So, but just real quick for a tent tour, just the way I designed this to lay it out. I do take all this stuff with me when I go back into town because I don't want to leave like a $1,500 battery and a fridge and computer, everything here. Somebody could easily just unzip the tent and get into it. So I pack all this stuff up when I leave, so I don't leave very much. It's a pain to leave, but when I do leave and come back, I want it to where I can pull up my truck to the side there, kick open like a side, like just one of the sides of this here, and have the other side down if it's snowing. Then I can easily like pull in here and just dump stuff. So I'm dumping those right here. So that's why I have my battery and fridge are right here. So that's easy access for in and out. And then just over here with the cot, I like it on the bump outs here. The reason why you have those bump outs on the side is it creates a lot more room on the sidewall. And if I take those bump outs, the ropes that are outside to the ground, the guy lines that are holding it down for each guy line, if I take those out, this tent wall will go down like this. So it creates like another foot that bumps out, and so you can tuck everything up in there, and it creates more livable room in the middle.
Nice.
Because you can't really stand up over here because it's only like 5 feet headroom. So but it's nice to have those bump outs there, and then you can tuck everything in. And I put my stove right here because my feet will get cold, and so this stays warm, and this is the last thing to get cold on me is my feet. You know, so if I'm in,
That's smart.
Yeah, and then Sierra's up here. She sleeps right here, and then I'm right here, so she's like a little heater for me, and then she gets the benefit from the stove, and then I have this on the backside, so I'm good to go. And then underneath here, what I use is this is a sleeping pad. It's the X-Ped. I finally stepped it up and got the X-Ped. I can't remember if it's the Mega Mat. It's the 6-inch one.
Nice. That looks awesome.
Dude, it's so comfortable. You got to like sit down on this thing and just see how comfy it is.
Man, that's comfy.
Yeah, and dude,
this feels like a couch.
Yeah,
laying back
it's
in
so
it.
comfortable. And so what I'll do
Wow.
is that, you know, before I got this, I just picked up this chair, which is a fleece chair, so it's kind of like an insulated chair, which is really nice. Because you know, camp chairs, the normal ones can get cold in the back of it's cold. So this is nice. I can sit here by the stove and I'm good. But before, when I broke my other camp chair and didn't get that one, I'd literally pull all this back here and just like sit back right here with the stove on and work on the computer all day. I'd pull the little chair up, the little table up right here, and Sarah would be sleeping here. It'd be snowing like crazy outside. You know, like when I was camping with Elsa and Baron, it was really, really cold.
Yeah.
Like I'd just be sitting here chilling, and Baron would come over. He'd sit right here. I'd sit right here, and we'd play Call of Duty.
That's awesome.
We'd sit there and crush it at night and stuff. So it was fun, but you know, it's amazing once you get good gear and you get a good stove. The conditions you can ride out in comfort, you know, it's possible. It just takes a little bit of time to figure out the airflow on your stove and all that stuff.
And this fan, so that's just run by heat, correct?
Yeah. So
those are so cool to me.
Yeah,
like I just think those are fascinating.
Yeah, what this is it's called an eco fan. And if you look here in between these two metal segments, and then right here there's a little there's a little sensor, and that's an electromagnetic generator. So what that does is that creates electricity that comes down here and pushes this little motor, which pushes this fan.
A little RC car looking motor. Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
And so once the base heats up enough, it comes up here, and the temperature disparity from up here, this is designed to cool.
Yeah.
It's designed to stay warm. So the temperature disparity creates energy, and then so as soon as the stove's hot enough, this turns on and starts pushing warm air around. And then when the stove gets cold, it turns off. So that's really nice to have. That cuts down on wood consumption by about 30%.
If you guys are curious about packing down, setting up the wood stove, you've got tons of good stuff on that, too.
Yeah. I've been doing this like I said for 6 years. So, but yeah, so the wood stove here, and then this is kind of more the hangout area. You know, I'll set up my chair, chill here. I'll bring the little table over and use it as a footrest here and kind of hang out. I also have my yoga mat. I carry this with me, so every morning I'll roll it out here, and then thank you.
You got the shout out.
But I'll do this in the morning just to kind of roll out any kinks and stuff, because you know, living like this, the muscles kind of get a little sore, especially when I have to break down unexpectedly and I get up all night doing videos and stuff. So
in between hot springs, you got to stay loose.
Yeah, you got to stay loose.
Yeah.
And so you get the time out here.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I did want to mention real quick about the wood stove that I really love is cooking over it. So like having if you do get a wood stove and you want to cook over it, get like a deep dish cast iron and then just a regular shallow dish cast iron, and you can put them on top of each other, and that creates a Dutch oven.
Yeah, there you go.
And so that's how I bake all my stuff. Like that first winter, I was out and I gained 27 pounds in 4 months because all I did was eat cookies and cinnamon roll every day. It was awesome.
That's great.
This tent, though, really, you know, it can handle a 5-foot snow load. It winds up to 90 miles an hour sustained. It's pretty much bulletproof, so I love it.
Wow.
I did.
Well, thanks for showing us. We're going to let you guys go because we got to go do some mobbing in the snow.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Be sure to go follow Brian. I'm sure you already are if you're here. But, yeah, Off-Grid Backcountry Adventures, full-time off-grid YouTuber, man.
Yep.
Real deal. Like,
365.
it's always great to see you.
Dude, I'm stoked to be here in Arizona.
Well, we'll see you guys. Comment, let us know what you think. And the only question is, are you down to mob in the snow?